Thanks, Katrina, for the warm introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the World Passenger Festival here in Vienna. As Katrina said, I'm your host, guiding you through the day, and I'm really looking forward to exciting people, exciting discussions here on stage. I think we have a fabulous agenda for the next 2 days. And let me say at this point, I'm really happy to be part of shaping this international event and of course now moderating this event here in Vienna. But now let's kick off the World Passenger Festival and kick off our first day. And I have the honor of inviting or welcome here on stage the Federal Minister for Climate Action, Energy, Mobility, Technology and Innovation, Leonore Gewessler, to our stage for her opening remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everybody. I'd love to say it's beautiful to look into so many faces. It's not so easy to see the faces down there, but I see a lot of people. I see a lot of people who are committed, as I am, as we all are, to a vision that goes beyond today, that transcends the time that we are in at the moment. The vision to forge a better future for generations to come. The vision of climate neutrality and to make this a reality. And in Austria, we have a very ambitious mission. It's climate neutrality by 2040. So the purpose is clear. The purpose is to inspire climate-friendly behavior, to inspire a shift towards more sustainable practices in the way we produce, in the way we consume, obviously also in the way we move around. And that's why the transportation sector and the transformation of our transportation sector is such a big task and such a necessary task. And I was asked for this welcome address a bit of the experience, how we went upon this in the last 3 years in Austria. As Niki Schmölz said, I'm responsible in my portfolio for quite a lot of things, from energy to innovation, from environment to mobility. And the transformation in the mobility sector, and I'm sure you'd agree, is without a doubt a particularly challenging one. But on the other hand, it's one of the most rewarding ones. Because we all know there's a huge potential in this mobility transformation, in this mobility shift to achieve the goal of climate neutrality. But on the other hand, we can also be sure that what we do can generate a big push in quality of life for the citizens of our countries. In a mobility that's more easily accessible, that's more efficient, where you don't need a driver's license as an entry point for moving around in a country, where you can have a better use of your time on public transport, where you can save money for your mobility. So how did we go around realizing this vision in Austria, step by step? First, we started by planning. We have a Mobility Master Plan 2030 that provides us with a roadmap towards success for this endeavor. Built around the principles of avoid, shift, and improve transportation, we are sure about one thing. The way to climate neutrality needs public transportation as a backbone of mobility for the people in our country. So in Austria, public transportation and many actors of the Austrian public transportation system are here today, traditionally already played a very important role. And I am fortunate to build on a robust rail infrastructure in our country. But we are vigorously working on all 3 fronts of improving public transportation in our country, so on infrastructure, on the railway services, and on the ticketing side. Our rail infrastructure is currently undergoing a massive expansion with a staggering investment of 19 billion euros over the next 6 years. We are allocating around 3 billion euros annually to invest in the railway infrastructure of tomorrow, 3 times as much as we invest in the road infrastructure, by the way. The primary focus of this investment program is strengthening the trans-European railway network in Austria, the journey times between The major cities of Vienna, Graz, and Klagenfurt will see significant reductions in the years to come. Furthermore, with the construction of the Brenner Base Tunnel, we are enhancing also the capacity and framework for competitive rail freight transport. In conjunction with the improvement of the infrastructure, we are significantly expanding passenger rail services and bolstering freight rail transport. So we allocated additional funds to improve service quality, for example, and maintain service levels despite challenges related to the energy crisis. One example of this is, of course, ÖBB continuously expanding its nightjet network, reinforcing its commitment to environmentally friendly travel and enhancing the overall passenger experience. A major step in the development of the nightjet network will be achieved very soon when the new night trains will enter into service. I know I will be hopefully on the first one of the new ones, but I can only recommend it's a complete new experience. The most substantial reform in recent decades in Austria in the public transport system undoubtedly has been the implementation of a flat rate ticket for all of public transport in our country. The ticket is called the climate ticket. It's about to celebrate its second birthday. Remarkably, we have by now 250,000 people in our country that have a flat rate ticket for the whole country. And already every seventh of Austrian citizens has either a regional or a Austrian-wide climate ticket. This reform does exactly what our host just painted as a vision for public transport. It makes public transport as easy, as accessible, as cheap to use as never before. For the equivalent of €3 a day, you can use every train, every bus, every subway, every train in our country, all over Europe, all over Austria. Europe, next step. I have to say sorry for my press people by announcing something on the sidelines, okay? No worries, Austria. So €3 a day for Austria, so no more thinking about where to buy a ticket, no more asking oneself how, if the trip is worth the money, if it's better to take some other transport. And we see from asking our customers that 40% of the people who own the Austrian-wide climate ticket say they use public transport now more than before, and they leave the car at home because the ticket enables public transport traveling. That's really a major success story, and I think it's a great example how we can support people to use climate-friendly means of transportation. I told you now about the three steps we do in terms of public transport, infrastructure services, and the ticketing, but of course, climate-friendly mobility doesn't stop there. And also our work in public transport doesn't stop there. So we will continue the expansion of the entire public transportation system in order to achieve a reversal of the trend towards the motorized individual transportation. That's one thing, together with our regions in public transport, in shared mobility, in you name it. But in addition to that, we're really working hard also to harvest the potential of active mobility, because that's currently far from being fully realized. And active mobility, you know, it is the most healthy, is the most energy efficient, is the most environmentally friendly and resource conserving form of transportation. So this is something we've been working on a lot by substantially increasing the funding options for biking and walking infrastructure, by working with our regions to double the share of active mobility and to improve the connectivity to the public transport system. So the goal is very clear. We want to make sure people in our country are less dependent on owning a personal car. In regions where this is not feasible, I mentioned it before, we work on shared, in regions where a standard public transport system, we work on shared mobility, but also for regions where even this is possible, of course, there's a need to rapidly electrify vehicles to reduce the CO2 footprint. Also on this front, of course, we're advancing fast. In conclusion, Austria is firmly committed to creating a sustainable and carbon neutral future by 2040. We are fully aware that our transportation sector must therefore undergo quite substantial changes to meet these ambitious goals. But with the significant investments in the infrastructure, the expansion of the railway services to make sure the train is there when people need it, and the successful implementation of the climate ticket, we're really making remarkable progress towards a cleaner, a more efficient, and a more climate-friendly transport system. However, let us not forget that the journey towards carbon neutrality is a collective endeavor. That's clear. But a collective endeavor means collaboration. And a collective endeavor also means shared responsibility. Only if we combine our efforts, if we share our strength, if we really work together also across borders, we can ensure that we have a better future for generations to come at the national as at the European level. I will thank you at this point for your attention. I wish you a lot of, a term I learned today, natural networking opportunities in the next days here in Vienna. But above all, I hope you can inspire each other, you can give each other the energy, the renewable energy that we need for the next years and decades to build a brighter and a greener future for all of us. Thanks a lot.